All right, and we're set. Welcome to Radio Rejekts, the Radio Rejekts podcast. My name is Lou, and then to my right is
DJ Sab.
DJ Sab today. He always changes his name. A guest, we always like to have them introduce ourselves. Running a little behind on time, so we're going to make sure this is a really, really good episode. In this camera right here, go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell the audience what you bring.
Okay. Hey guys. So I'm Ashley, sometimes AshMoves, AshMoves Productions. I'm a professional dancer coming out of Chicago, and kind of can do anything that you guys really need for videos or anything creative-wise. We're kind of your go-to girls for it all.
Okay. So now AshMoves is a team, or is it just...
Yeah, there's no AshMoves without my other girls that we book for dances and stuff.
Okay.
Obviously I can't do concerts and stuff alone, so shout out to Cindy, shout out Darlene. Those are my sidekicks.
Okay. I've seen them in some of the your videos that you've had and everything like that. Even the concert ones too as well.
Yes, all the concerts, those are my go-to girls. We all kind of started dancing together. We all met at the same places. Ever since then, we've kind of gravitated towards each other. And then their work ethic has always stood out to me, so that's one of the main reasons I picked them for everything. Now,
did you meet them around the same time that you started dancing, or are they kind of like in your pursuit of dancing?
In the pursuit of dancing.
Okay.
Yeah, because I started off pretty solo, and then you gradually start meeting way more people, and then dancers, it'll be a whole room full of dancers, and nobody will know each other, but you'll never tell because that's just how our culture is. But when it comes, dance videos that you guys see from YouTube or we're in class, a lot of people never really know each other in those videos, unless it's LA. Everybody knows each other in LA.
Yeah. Wow.
But a lot of these, even those people that you see getting cheered on the most, a lot of people will be like, who is that?
Yeah.
But with them, they've always been there.
So a lot of the dance videos, like the one I just showed you prior to us starting up, that was like people just meet up?
Yeah.
And
you
then
kind of just pay to take somebody's class, somebody that you want to train with that night, depending on who teaches what. And then everybody has their little clientele, and then just random people that can always come in. So that's the cool thing about it. There's no commitment to where you can go and where you can't go.
Okay. And then can we go back to as far as you said you met them at a certain time, but as far as did you have a background in gymnastics?
Yes, I was always a cheerleader, so that's where it all started. I did all-star cheerleading, competitive cheerleading.
Okay.
So that's how I can tumble and do all that stuff. So that made dance come very easily to me.
Yeah.
So I was always an athlete, and then I just kept getting injured a lot in gymnastics.
Yeah.
So everything was wearing on my body really bad. So I kind of quit all that stuff and then went to something that was still related to what I knew how to do.
Yeah.
So a healthy medium was dance.
Yeah. And
so I don't injure myself as much with that.
But what made you want to do as far as a career path in this?
I didn't actually. So I started off training just because I wanted to be good for my quinceañera.
Okay.
And then, or quinceañera, sorry. But after that, it kind of just turned into a hobby, and I was like, wait, I'm actually kind of good at this, or I'm getting decent, I'm getting okay. Yeah. So then we started getting booked for things, and that's when I started taking it a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
Then we started making money off it, and that's when I was like, okay.
This is your move, right?
Yeah, we got to make some moves here.
Okay.
Because if I don't have to sit in an office, I'm not going to.
Right. So as far as this, can you determine a certain year in which it really stood out to you? Okay, I'm going to focus on this entirely.
Solo-wise, starting my own brand and starting my own company, I guess.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago.
Okay. I think I kind of
a year and a half.
Around that same time is when I started kind of knowing about you too as well, right?
Yeah. That's when we started doing more big concerts.
Yeah.
And we had always done some, but they weren't through being known through the artist or through having word of mouth, having a cool name or anything like that. It was just hey, we need some dancers from Chicago. Who can we call?
Didn't you just recently do one in Wisconsin, was it?
Yes, we did the Los Dels Fest for Lanai. That was our favorite concert so far. Yeah. Because we got to travel. It wasn't far, but we got to travel for it, and then we met a lot of really cool people. We found ourselves in the same room as we were with Faruko, we were with a bunch of people, and I was like, oh my God. We had to act like it was so chill, we normally do this.
Yeah.
Because you can't really make it too known that this is a really big deal to you.
Yeah.
Because no one cares. So.
Or it just it just kind of makes you a little bit more eased into a conversation that
Yeah.
doesn't like, oh, she's just a beginner or something like that.
Exactly. And then their view or their mindset on you kind of changes too, and they're like, oh, like this is a really big deal to you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not to them.
Yeah, it's
That's
not to
something.
them, so they're like, oh, it's kind of strange.
Now, how did that come about? That whole like you getting booked for that? Is it?
I got contacted by Lunai's team contacted the fest manager,
Okay.
who I know, and then he knows what I do. He saw that we were credible and that we've done a lot of concerts in Chicago before. So he reached out to us. We had to send a submission video for Lunai's team for them to approve, and then we waited for that to come in. And then I was actually filming a video on a boat downtown for this guy. We were filming a music video, and then I got the call, and I was like, oh my god, like, what's my life right now? Because he's like, hey, Lunai said yeah, like he really liked you guys. So from there, I'm always in control of, or they let us be in control of what songs we do. They know, sometimes they'll give us a set list, sometimes they don't. But otherwise, we kind of have to, I pick and choose which songs are the best ones to do, whether it's brand new, whether it came out yesterday. So Lunai had a song that came out, what song was it? I don't know, it has so many features on it, but he dropped that song the day before the concert. And so we already had our set done and everything, and then we had sound check at 8 a.m. the next day.
Was it the Soltera remix?
It wasn't this, no, we had this Soltera remix. It was,
Can you pull the mic a little closer to you? Yeah, if you might want to turn it a little bit and then, yeah, push that back. Yeah, that's you're good.
Okay.
Because it's like right here, so I get you, but I can't,
Okay. I don't remember what song it was, but, the El Favor.
Okay.
So he had dropped that the night before, and then I got a message from his manager, and he's like, hey, Luna, I dropped this song yesterday. Like, I don't know how that works, but is there any way you guys could possibly make a dance for this by tomorrow, sound check?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure. So we're like, because I'm not going to tell them no.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I went back to the room. I'm like, all right, guys, they were already chilling, ready for bed. I'm like, get up. Like, we have to make a dance right now.
Yeah.
So we made a dance. It was already like midnight or 1 in the morning. We made the dance. They learned it super fast. So that's another thing I look for in girls a lot.
And these are the girls that you mentioned too, right?
Yeah. And then one other extra one, Sasha, that we picked up because I met her in a class, and she was really good.
Now, do you, like, I want to stay on topic of the show, but also when you do your classes, is it easier to? I know you have the distinguish between like an amateur class and a not like a beginner class, and then what is it, like an expert
Advanced.
or advanced? For those advanced ones, are there people that come in and you're like, oh, I need to recruit that person?
I don't necessarily look for them in my class where I'm like, all right, I need to find a girl in this class that's good for the concert that we're doing in 2 weeks or something like that. But I do pay attention way more, or those are the first girls that I will call for something.
Okay.
Girls that are consistently training, whether it's with me or whether it's with somebody else. Girls that I always see like busting their ass, hustling. Because you can't be rusty and get called for like a really big concert and you're rusty, because you're gonna blow it.
Right.
So how successful was that one that you had to make like the night before?
It was actually one of our best ones.
Really?
So I was so shocked. I'm like, oh my god. Then we ended up doing a song that they said he wasn't going to include in his set anymore, but we were on stage, and then he played the song, and I was like, I kind of just give them, they know what eyes I'm doing, but I'll give them like these eyes, and they know like we're doing this one, even though we said we weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
Or if I'm like, hey, I need us to freestyle, I'll give them like a little signal from across the stage, and that's when they know to go.
Okay. And then as far as like, what was I going to say? For your classes, speaking on your classes, you just started like a studio.
Yes.
Your studio, AshMoves studio.
AshMoves studio.
Now, how did that come about? Like, as far as like, I mean, obviously, is that ideal for anybody that does, choreograph dancing? It's like, I want to have my own studio, or is it something like you're like, yeah, I want to build my brand. This is the part of the brand that I want to build, and I need to start getting these classes to build a team.
So, yeah, in dance you can go so many different ways. Like, you can stay and train yourself and, like, focus on building your own skills. And, like, you want to go on tour one day, you want to do this, you want to do that. Or you want to go the studio owner, studio director route. Or you can go, like, the company director, because that's a whole other thing. Like, I don't have a company, I have a studio. Mm-hmm. So it's different. I'm just hosting, like, I guess, recreational classes
Yeah.
for people to come. So it's no commitment. It's not anything like that. If you can come and you have $10 and you want to come train, get some exercise, whether you know how to dance or not,
Okay.
you can come. But then there's like companies where you're paying some type of monthly tuition, or you're paying towards something. So towards like competitions, towards outfits, towards this, towards that.
Okay.
So it kind of depends. I never planned on opening my own studio, but the opportunity kind of fell in my lap by God and everybody else.
Yeah.
But I got a really good opportunity with doing a partnership with one of my old trainers, Joe's Gym. Shout out Joe's Gym. But he had trained me since I was like 14 or 15 in the gym, just like working out. Yeah. Nothing to do with gymnastics, nothing to do with anything else. So, and I used to be a gym rat, so I would go to the gym like 2-3 times a day.
Okay.
So he had always seen me coming in and out, and he's like, what do you do, or what are you training for? So ever since then, his viewpoint on me kind of changed, and then he kind of saw me grow up. So now we're like 10 years later, and he knew I graduated college, so he's like, well, I know you want to dance, and I trust your business, and I trust what you do, and your mindset and all that, and your work ethic. So I have this space, and yeah, we kind of just built a partnership from there.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we have.
That's where our guy Ulysses went to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a really cool partnership there. He's amazing. Doesn't micromanage at all. So, he's like, this is yours. Like, it's literally all yours. So.
Okay. Now, do you get to design it in a Sab? Can you just turn her mic like that way, like that? Like, yeah, put it that way, because you kind of learn it. Yeah, like that.
There you go.
Yeah, like, I think, let me see. Don't worry about it.
Because it takes the audio better when it's like in front of you.
Sorry, I'm short.
No, yeah.
And I want Ulysses, don't fucking do that. I'm just kidding. What was I about to say? Are you able to build the studio to your kind of liking?
Yeah. He's he literally says it's mine. It's like, it's yours. Especially with our agreement that we have. I'm not going to speak on it, but yeah. I'm in control of everything. So I'm really blessed that he's letting me do all this stuff.
Okay.
He is somebody I look up to a lot, business-wise.
Okay.
Because in his industry, he's like one of the best. So in like the workout industry and stuff, he's very well known. So that's why I trusted him to do this too, because we have to trust each other for it. So,
I mean, ideally, it's nice because if you have an individual where like you're using their space too as well, like if you see that they're focused and their like mentality is like,
it just
okay,
makes
like,
everything go so much smoother. Yeah.
And then you don't half-ass when you walk into the place, because you're like, oh, I got to meet the expectation of the rest of this building, establishment, whatever it is. So when you build, because I'm new to like learning about choreograph, like is it choreographing, right?
Yeah.
And dancing and all that kind of stuff. Is it ideal? Like, is there an ideal setup for the studio space that dancers may say, like, this is what I like? Like, I like these type of mirrors. I like this type of floor. Like, I know obviously there's certain floors that if you're like moving around, it's going to like fuck up your knees or whatever it is. Like, is there like an ideal setup?
Speaking for myself, some dancers may or may not, but for the most part, no, we don't really care.
No.
As long as we have mirrors, music. For example, like my first class, we had one mirror, and I had my roll-in speaker. So as long as you have music, and people that, like real dancers don't really care what the situation is. Like, as long as we can dance, as long as we like just turn the music on and let's go.
Okay.
Now, when you're making routines, what, like, say if I brought you a new song, it's a fresh new song, you've never heard it before. What specifically are you looking for to start getting your moves flowing or start getting your steps going?
Well, my creative process.
Yeah. And you don't have to go too far into it.
Yeah.
Because, like, some people are very like protective on how they go about that.
I personally, I like to smoke before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll hear a song. That way I don't exhaust my body either.
Okay.
So my thinking space is my car. So we call it like choreography.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of weird, because how would you make moves and dance in a car if you don't have a lot of space?
It takes a while to get to that point where you can like visualize it in your head, and then you can get to the studio. A lot of the times I'll make it on my way to the studio too.
Yeah.
So I'll just be in my head, and then I don't know, especially when I'm smoking, I can definitely think a lot better.
Yeah.
But I can hear everything super clear, and I just look for a lot of beat layers and a really good melody.
Okay.
Because a song can have a really good beat and the melody sucks, so I don't even want to do it.
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends. I don't a lot of people like going for the most viral song at the time or at the moment. I don't normally go that route. I kind of just do whatever song I like.
Yeah.
Whether it's old, it's brand new, nobody knows who it is, or it's Bad Bunny, whatever. Yeah, that's normally what I look for. So I'll visualize it in my head a bunch of times, figure out what I really want to do, and then I get in front of the mirror and then I do it.
Now, as far as like tracks, is there recent ones like this year? I mean, this year is kind of like relatively new, but the past year so far that you were like, oh, that's like, there's certain songs that stick out to you because you're listening from our point of view, we're listening to a song for a different reason. Obviously, you're listening to it, every song that you listen to with a different intention. So is there certain songs where you're like, okay, this artist, I can definitely count on that. Like when they drop an album, it's going to be on there.
Future always.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people have definitely started to hate on him, but he always gives us something to dance to. Or I love choreographing to him. I love choreographing to Tory Lanez. Drake's hit or miss.
Really? You would think that he has like, he's been
You'd think he's really reliable, but I don't know. He hasn't been that consistent lately, or at least in my opinion. Speaking for myself. But
I can see that.
As of lately, Mike Towers.
Yes. Easy money, baby.
Yeah, easy money, baby.
I'm Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, so.
That's English.
Well,
is it English?
Well,
I know
easy
money is in English, but I'm saying like.
When he hears that, I don't know what he just said.
But when we talked about him before, I was like, I don't know who that is, and then Gato was talking about him. He was bringing him up, and I was like, I don't know who that is.
He's hot right now. So his whole album right now, I could probably make a dance to all of them. It's amazing. And then obviously Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny's album, even though I can't understand what the hell he's saying, I got the translation
good.
Next to it.
It's really good.
But his visuals, we were talking about it before the podcast. His visuals are really good.
He's oh my god, he's just amazing.
Because he has the, I get from what my understanding is, he has the video where like all the songs, all the songs have the visual of the kid just in the room.
Yeah, and he's just like.
He's just moving around.
And
then he has the other ones where they're actually videos for the songs.
Yeah.
Like the one song I like is the one where he's like dressed up, but like he's a little fatter and he has like the comb over and.
It's the first song of
the album.
That's with an S.
Yeah, it has like the little like piano, like a short. I really like that one.
Yeah.
Like I said, that guy's gonna like hang himself or whatever like that, and the little boy comes up to him.
I love all of them.
Yeah, his songs are really good. The beat wise are really good.
It's like a day inside his brain because he's so creative. Obviously, his team has a lot to do with it too, but everything like the little visuals. I don't know why that really caught my eye of the little boy in the room for every single song. Most artists will just have their cover art, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they'll have a cover art and then like a lyric video or something like that too as well.
Are we able to pull a couple?
Yeah, we can pull them up.
We can pull them up just to talk about it.
There you are.
We could talk about this first though.
What is obviously the one you talked about the concert whatever like that that's obviously one that you said like that's you just recently did for Pivot Gang.
Oh yeah, they reached out to us too. That one was fun. That was a benefit concert.
You want to pull up the most recent routine?
They were really cool.
Too as well. That one was fire from today.
You have your IGTV video.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how this would turn out, but we have 1,000 views. Hey,
we get
tag Bad Bunny, guys. That's Cindy.
Oh damn, you can't.
Oh,
my
can't
bad,
do it,
bro.
Yeah, you might not be able to do it.
Wow. Sab's set up right here. I'm gonna look up Bad Bunny though. So that's your first IGTV.
Yeah, I thought it was so much harder.
I would have
took an extra.
Honestly, I would have thought you've done it already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. Now I'm gonna start. I tried to put it on YouTube, but I got blocked. So.
Because of copyrights.
Yeah.
Sab's is suspended right now from Twitter and then,
my Twitter's suspended. So.
And then all of those.
I don't think it's ever coming back, man.
Yeah, they said I have to like email the people to lift the copyright. I'm like, you know what? I'll just make a new email.
Sab's Wi-Fi is trash. Okay, so as far as this year for 2020, we'll just have these in the background. I'll put it up right now. This is one of my favorite videos, even though I don't really know what he's saying. Although it's like a very upbeat and it's super sad.
Super simple video too.
It's like very sad though.
Yeah.
For 2020, like for your studio and everything like that, obviously it's a new year, and your launch was January. It felt like it was like trickling from last year into this year.
Yeah, we had a bunch of legal endeavors, I guess.
Okay. And what is your plans for the new year coming up?
For the new year, summer, I'm expecting a lot because everybody's back from college. A lot of the teams that train throughout the year go on somewhat of a break during the summer. So I'm going to have to definitely come a lot harder in the summer. Definitely get our consistent videographer.
Oh, she looked at you. Listen, he's usually asleep.
Yeah, just focus on really building my solid team.
Yeah.
So seeing what works, what doesn't. Because obviously I'm not a pro at this at all. I don't call myself really a pro yet. But
that's like a reoccurring thing that we notice is like a lot of our guests that we have that we think like, obviously I see you in a different light. I don't mean to make it like super awkward, but I see you in a different light. So I see you as a pro. Like I would see like your accomplishments so far. I'm like, oh, she's like killing it.
Thank you.
But then you're humble enough to be like, oh no, I'm not where I need to be right now. I still got to strive, which is good. It's very good like mindset, but it's still like a reoccurring thing is like a lot of guests that we have. We're like, yeah, I don't know. Like we had an author on the other time, like the other day, and it was like, I don't know if I can consider myself an author. And I was like, oh, I'm holding your book. Like,
I have a book.
I have your book right in my hand.
At Barnes & Noble.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's a like I said, a reoccurring thing that we notice too as well. But I mean, going from the dancing into this year, obviously there's some things that you said you didn't want to talk about, like as far as like your new things that you want to do. What is it? Vlogs. I'll cut that out.
Oh yeah.
But obviously, like, is there other things that you want to do? Maybe focus on IGTV, maybe focus on certain things that you're like, this is going to be, or is my new venture?
I guess my main thing is I want to build my really solid videographer, because that comes, like, with that comes a lot.
Yeah.
Then I can build, like, I can come up with an idea, like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'll be like, text them, hey, I have this idea, let's work tomorrow, or let's do something this weekend, and they're ready to go. Yeah. And they know exactly what I want. They know, because that comes with building your brand. So, because every dancer, like, likes their videos recorded differently. Every dancer likes this lighting, likes this, wants to do concept videos, but you have to have a really good videographer behind you to execute your idea.
Yeah. And especially if you work with the same one, that's going to be more ideal, too, as well. What is the song right now that you want to focus on making a video for?
Right now, I want to do Yikes by Nicki Minaj. And then I want to do a concept video to Sapphire.
This one?
Yes.
Now, what do you not want to talk about your concept right now yet?
Go ahead, I don't care.
No. I don't know if she's like, no, I don't want anybody to take my idea.
Are you going to have like a switch up every time the beat switch up? Because that's the one that switches up like 5 times.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that's like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like 5 people on that song.
I'll just play
that song is actually really long, so maybe not the whole thing.
Yeah.
But a good half to 3/4 of it. So.
Yeah, we'll have it in the background. I told you like we should. I'm definitely down to shoot a video.
Yeah, no, I definitely
like we'll come up with the concept wise, because these are, like I said, these are a little bit more. If you have it just straightforward, it's different. It's going to be obviously a little bit more,
It makes every dance look so different.
Yeah, so we would do a concept wise too as well. Do you have a concept you want to do for this one?
Not entirely. No, not yet. The Yikes one, yeah, but you guys are gonna have to wait.
When you first like stepped into dancing after doing cheerleading, I mean, because obviously cheerleading moves are more static, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
And dancing moves are more, you got to be more fluid with it. Was that your biggest challenge of being more like water a little bit, or?
Yeah, like I still see myself and I'm like, oh my God, I need to fix that. But yeah, that was.
I couldn't do that move.
Seth does that move all the time.
Try it.
That's how we.
No, it took a lot of training, so that was definitely my biggest problem, because I was
so
like
hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when
real.
I told them we were doing the splits, they were like, "Wait, what?" They always look at me like I'm crazy in my classes.
But that goes back to like you recruiting individuals, because like you have to find individuals that can
Do
like if
everything.
you say like, hey, I need to do this, they have to know how to do it.
Yeah, that's why it's really hard to find like really well-rounded dancers too, because you can find like a really good girl that's on stage, but she's really good with ballet or something on stage.
Yeah.
Versus that.
Or
So-
there's individuals that I'm assuming that can follow someone else's lead but can't necessarily lead themselves.
Yeah.
That might be something too as well. Like there's individuals that like, oh, like they can't come up with their own dance, but they can follow your moves down to a T.
Mm-hmm.
And is that something where you're like, I need someone that can do both?
No, because every choreographer is usually a dancer, and
Yeah.
not every dancer is a choreographer.
Okay.
So if you dance, you can dance, but just because you can dance doesn't mean you can choreograph.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people that take my classes are like, I'll have them freestyle for a portion, don't know what to do. Or the other day in class, I challenged them to make like an 8 count or something with their partner. Pick a partner was one challenge, and then making the steps for the last 8 count was another challenge. And then I think that kind of clicked for them, like how hard it is to do this, and then coming up with a different routine 6 times a week.
Yeah.
You kind of start getting hard on yourself and start like kind of getting in your head, like, dang, I do this move way too much, or no, I did this last week, or because I personally don't like reteaching things, because sometimes when I go to class and I've already learned that dance last week, I'm like, well, why did I come today?
Yeah.
Even though I shouldn't be thinking like that.
Yeah.
I should just see it as like another training day, but I personally go in wanting to learn something new.
Yeah.
Especially if you're already at that level where I already not that I learned it, but I already got that down. Like I don't need to, because isn't it?
And dropped it like.
Yeah, because in
Yeah.
the beginning, I used to love it. I'd be like, yes, like I did not get this shit at all last week. Like I'm about to kill it this week.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I already got a head start because I already know half of it. But so yeah, in the training days, definitely love it. But after you get to a certain point, you're kind of like, okay, I already know this.
Now, do you have a certain way in which, because obviously you've been to several studios, I would assume, right? You've dropped in on ones,
Yeah.
you've been committed to certain ones, whatever it is. Do you have a certain way, or do you notice that every studio runs their studio certain ways, and then you kind of like adapt to certain ones that you like it? Like, is there a certain pattern in which you say this is how this studio is going to run?
For the most part, dance is pretty much the same. The only difference is some studios, especially when it comes to like drop-in classes,
Yeah.
you don't really get to see much of the studio's culture. So you'll know if you're going to like a prestigious studio. So like if you're going to Lucante, you know they have really good like ballet and contempt teams and stuff.
Okay.
Or they train like some really good dancers. So I guess for drop-in classes, you already know you're just going to go in, pay whatever the amount is, and then it's more about whose class you're going to take versus where the studio is or what studio it's at.
Okay.
Some people are more like fundamental and want you to get like the basics of everything, versus some teachers have really hard musicality. So you already know you're about to have to like kick it in overdrive, and you have to learn really fast that day because you're taking a really hard class from somebody that teaches really fast and doesn't care if you have questions or not.
Okay.
Or you're going to a class where like it's super chill. I think mine are a little more chill. Yeah, we do full out stuff, but I try my best to make people feel really comfortable and want to learn it.
Yeah.
Instead of like getting discouraged and like, I don't get this at all, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it depends who you're going to see more than where you're going to see them at.
I think me and Lou should drop into a beginner class.
Yeah, and
bro.
film it.
I have panic attacks. I'll have anxiety the whole time. My heart will be racing the whole time.
We're gonna have dance battles in the parking lot after.
No, I've seen your moves, and I'm like, there's no way I can do any of that. Like even dropping, like I would go to my knees and I just won't get back up.
This
one?
No, with the other red shoes to the right.
This one?
Above it.
Oh,
Yeah,
this one.
That one. That was my first time taking this guy Matt's class, and I was lost.
I mean, but you're already like levels ahead of what I would be like.
You already own this stage.
So thank you. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, and he's really known in Chicago. Puzzle League is a really good dance team in Chicago too.
Matt on the left, on the right.
No, he's not in this video.
Okay.
So he's a studio owner. But that was my first time. I've always wanted to take one of his classes, but I'm always so busy. And
was this like just for you three?
well, so at the end of classes, the choreographers will pick like a couple groups of people that they thought did it the best, or like the people that they like to see doing it by themselves or something. So you kind of just put together different groups of people that you like. And I guess he put
it together.
He put us three together. So like for example, I had no idea who they were, so I met them that day.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying then.
But
I like
you
this
would never,
little setup too.
But you would never tell. Yeah, it's cute, super cute. So yeah, you would never tell that people don't know each other.
Who's your top 3 artists right now that you would love to choreograph their next concert or their next video?
In order?
No specific order.
Okay. Bad Bunny for sure. Ozuna and dang.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Or maybe even like a team or like
Rihanna
football.
always.
Yeah.
But I guess an event that I would do for sure, that I would want to do one day is like the Grammys or Premio Nuestro.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people, it kind of sucks when you see a lot of, it doesn't suck, but I guess it's all about perspective. But like I know a lot of people that did dance at Premio Nuestro or did dance in Daddy Yankee's video. Oh, Daddy Yankee, duh.
Yeah.
That's my number one.
DY.
Yeah.
That's my number one everything.
The big boss.
Yeah.
It's so wild that he's still extremely so dominant.
Bro,
it's not even that he's
so
around.
relevant, like
He's still like that, and he's like the Lil Wayne of
I could
like
DJ
they have to have him
whole
on it.
party with just
With
his
just-
music
yeah.
for probably a good 2.5 hours straight, or 2 hours at least.
Because he's on Bad Bunny's new album too, right?
yeah.
He's on everyone's.
Yeah, they have a song.
Yeah, but I'm
That's
saying
hot.
like it's like he's still like Bad Bunny's arguably right now
Yeah.
one of the biggest, if not. So the fact that you're like, I still want this guy on my record, and he
Yeah.
still kills it. I mean, I don't know what he's saying, but I know it sounds like he's
But
killing
even
it.
his
Everybody
sound
knows who
has
Daddy
like
Yankee is.
evolved to where he's singing more, and he's like, I don't know, it's just like he's getting smoother with his sound too.
Yeah.
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 Is there certain people that you like inspiration wise? Because that's another thing too as well. That's like when I say like I mean probably him too as well. We don't know really any artists that are like dancers and focus like on the the teams or that go on
Like
tours and all that.
artists that have really good productions or girls that or people that do it.
People that you like watch their videos and like fuck, or
Oh.
you know that they went on tour with this artist or something like
Yeah.
that, and you're like shit.
My number one is Paris. She's my number one inspiration. Paris Goebel. So she's Rihanna's choreographer. She
Okay.
did Rihanna's fashion show, the Savage Fenty show.
Did you post about her recently?
I post about her a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's like in every industry now. She's like a model for MAC, I think, or Sephora, one of the two. And
So she doesn't do Just Dance.
no, like she's turned into like a powerhouse. She choreographed the Justin Bieber Sorry video. So all
Okay.
those dancers, that was a really big video. I don't know if you guys seen the Yummy video.
I have not.
Justin Bieber had to, like her take it down because it was getting more views than his video.
Wow.
And then she was like, "What the fuck?" So they put it
Really?
back. Yeah, so they put it back up, and now it might still have more videos or more views.
More views?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild that he's like, why would you think that? Like even for TikTok videos, like I'm
I
not
don't
gonna say
know.
like, hey, take my song
It
down.
honestly could even be him not tripping. Could be a label thing.
Yeah, it could be a label
Oh, okay.
thing, some
Yeah.
business.
Because I would
don't
think like
know.
he'd be like, because even Doja Cat seen somebody make the Say So video TikTok for her song,
Yeah.
and she put her in the video for it. You heard that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was dope. I was like, oh, okay, cool. She at least recognized that person on TikTok. They made a dance for her song, and then she ended up doing the dance in the song with the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got taken down and then they put it back up. But it was kind of strange though because she's choreographed for him before, and
It's gotta be
he
it
should have
was.
hired. He really should
Yeah.
have hired her because that video is doing numbers. And I honestly didn't really like his video. Sorry, Justin, but I
Yeah.
didn't like those. I didn't like the Yummy video.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys saw the one that with like it was like in a house or something like that,
I didn't
or
watch.
a hotel room. I don't know.
I didn't see it.
I didn't really care for the album as much as I thought I was going to. It was good. It was like a good listen, but I didn't like oh, I gotta listen to this over and over and over again.
Yeah, I listened to it once through. I thought I liked it, but the fact that I didn't go back to it.
That's like
I
that's
think
like a
that
clear
tells me,
indication,
yeah.
right? Like there's some songs like you have to finish the rest of the album, but you still play that one again.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like,
oh.
oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I never went back. No song like really stuck out to me that much.
What did you think? Sorry.
Sorry, I was
What did you think of the Super Bowl dance routine?
Oh my god, I loved it. Actually, Paris choreographed that, so those were all her dancers. So.
Because I seen that. Obviously, you see Shakira and J Lo, and I was like, okay, cool. They have some influence on probably what the dance looks like. But I was like, they did not get enough credit. The backup dancers. I was like, wow.
They had put on a really, and I can only, all I was thinking when I saw it was, oh my god, their practices. I know their practices were terrible.
Did you see the Beyonce documentary with her homecoming? How much
the homecoming one? Yes.
Just like
yes,
how much preparation that took was like 6 months for her Coachella.
Just her Coachella.
Oh, okay. Is that where she brought the rest of the Destiny Child out? Did she bring the whole old group back?
I don't remember, but I just know
that's like when you go on tour. Is that like one of your like goals? Is to go on tour with an artist? Like not just do a set for them, like we talked about. Like Daddy Yankee, I would like to do like one song or whatever like that. But like to say, this artist is taking AshMoves and their collective.
Yeah.
On tour.
That's actually what I wanted to do. I never wanted to open a studio.
Yeah. You wanted to do that?
Yeah, I wanted to. I was actually gonna move. I was supposed to move to LA or Puerto Rico, because the scene out there for reggaeton is huge. Yeah. Obviously.
Puerto Rico or LA?
Puerto Rico. Oh. LA, it would be way harder just because the scene isn't as big. And I would have to get signed to an agency and all that stuff in order to make booking really easy.
Yeah.
But I was considering Miami, but I didn't really. I don't know. It was too. I think I would get too distracted out there.
Yeah.
It's too much fun.
You don't think you would get distracted in Puerto Rico?
No, because they are booked out there. So I feel like I wouldn't have time to.
Miami's a little more flashy too. There's just more like.
Yeah,
you been there, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm born in Miami. I have family in Miami.
Really?
Yeah. We've
I
never
didn't know
talked
this.
about
We're
this.
learning about this.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No, I don't know. Something Miami just didn't really call me.
So what halted the LA move?
My studio.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So I found out I was gonna open a studio.
Now, do you feel because of that, by default, the chances of you going on tour are even higher? It's like you're building more personal brand. More people are going to be more aware of your choreography, what you're going to be up to. You're kind of building your bigger audience. So the chances of you someone in that industry laying their eyes on you to be like, yes, I want her on my tour is like higher now?
Yes, for the sake of the fact that I'm getting a lot of training, because it's a lot of training for me too, having to choreograph 5 or 6 different routines a week.
Yeah.
And then it really enhances my my teaching skills too, even though I forget things a lot when I'm teaching. Yeah. But it kind of just makes me more well-rounded in every aspect.
Yeah.
So
do you record all your sessions?
Practice. Not all of them, but I record myself at the end of every class, whether it's going on Instagram or not, because that's my analyzing technique.
So you have like thousands of videos on your phone just
yeah. I hate it. I hate looking through my phone. And then I just lost one of my phones, and I was so heartbroken because all of our videos and stuff from Lunai, and I had a lot of really important contacts in there that didn't sync to my main thing was I needed to sync my WhatsApp.
Okay. That's
all I was concerned about, because I had a lot of managers on there, a lot of artist teams and stuff, a lot of artists on there. So I was like, fuck. So now hopefully they reach out to me again one day.
Yeah.
Because I can't reach out back. So
no.
I mean, I have a lot of them on Instagram. So.
But you built at least that network within a year or so, right? Do you feel like?
It's taken a while, but for them to book me for to choreograph their stuff instead of just dancing for them. Yeah. About a year and a half.
I mean, if you made that much progress in 1 year and you were already at a lesser spot, you know what I mean? I feel like bouncing back and building up even more this year, you're gonna.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully after the summer, by summertime, I definitely want to have my solid team by then, as in my videographer, and then I do everything myself, like the graphic design or all my flyers. Sometimes they look a little bogus, but I didn't like the one for this week.
This one?
Yeah.
You didn't like that?
No, it's just hard to see.
Oh, the white.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
But I couldn't.
Ulysses, get on this,
fade
bro.
the transparency, so I was like, you know what, whatever.
The other ones look good. I actually like the other ones that you had.
Thanks.
I don't know where they're at right now.
So yeah, I try to switch them up every week to not make it. I just like the colorful stuff. I think I only have one black and white video.
Now, as far as for your for outfits, because obviously I see them all right now.
Yeah.
Do you go through certain individuals? You kind of see something and then you just automatically say we're going to use this.
Yeah. So, well, as of lately now, we use Shop Bella, my Shop Bella. Shout out Tamer. But that's a store in Milwaukee that sponsored us for the Lunai concert because they were just opening their store in Milwaukee.
That's these outfits, right?
Yeah. So they gave us those. They gave us warm-ups. We got some stuff from Akira because one of my stylists is at Akira. And he helps us a lot too. So I'll get a lot of ideas from him.
Okay.
And then otherwise, I kind of just go off what's off the top of my head. I don't really care how much it costs. I'll just buy it.
But they do factor into like your movement though.
Right? Oh yeah.
You got to have something that's like works with what you're doing.
Yeah. So like if we're doing like a hip hop concert or something, so like those we needed. Let me think.
Like this one?
Yeah. So I always have to decide first. My first thing before I even start choreographing is if we're gonna be in heels or if we're gonna be in sneakers.
Because this would be considered like a hip hop one, right?
Yeah. So like there we were in sweatpants.
Okay.
Sweatpants and sneakers, and then those sweaters are those are from Shop Bella too.
Okay. Cool.
So, but before we got them, I would just kind of, whenever I'm shopping or if I'm at like Forever 21 or something, we never get anything too expensive because we're going to dance and probably destroy it anyways. But, yeah, we stepped our game up from then.
Oh, from here?
Yeah. I wish we wore sneakers. That's like one of my regrets. I wish we wore sneakers for Adfa.
For this?
Yeah. I had us doing like real full out stuff and I was like, all right guys, we're going to be in heels. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah.
Because you have a heels class too? Didn't you make a post where like, if you can't do heels, don't come to class?
No, I don't.
You gotta learn.
You gotta learn. I mean, it's part of the class.
Yeah. So obviously I want people to come in their heels, but I'm totally okay. Yeah, I'm totally okay with people coming in their sneakers and like, I'm not comfortable in heels anymore.
Sprain your ankle in heels or something?
Oh my God. Not in my heels, not yet.
Yeah.
Wow, wait, that's strange.
My bad.
But before that, yeah, my ankles are terrible. Like I sprained my left one 4 times, and my right one 3, and I tore like 4 ligaments in this one.
How long are you out for like sprains?
Well, for like one single sprain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A good month.
Mm-hmm. Really?
It should be longer, but I was like, I don't know.
What is the
I don't take care of myself.
Kind of jumping on that. What is the career expectancy of like a dancer? Because I know like ballerinas and stuff, like their feet are all kinds of fucked up, and they only have like a certain amount of time that they can legitimately be prime.
Yeah. For us, I guess for commercial dancing and stuff like that, around your 30s if you're lucky.
Really? Because I know it, like aside from looks, like people are like, oh, you know, this person, like you said, the Paris, a woman, she dances, but then also she does modeling and everything like that. Those are going to play into factors of like appearance and everything like that. But your overall ability to dance and have relevancy in the dance community.
Yeah.
J-Lo's like 50 though.
Mid-30s. Yeah, J-Lo.
Yeah, but J-Lo started at dancing, like and then J-Lo started at dancing, and then she got into singing and everything like that.
She's gonna hear this podcast.
Well, and then the other thing too, if you
50.
start dance young, you're healthy, so
yeah,
you're gonna be obviously a healthier adult.
Really?
So you can last longer. Yeah.
So is that what happened to J-Lo?
Probably. She's been doing this for a while. So you're obviously gonna look better if you've been fit your whole life.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Pitbull's dancers, those girls are in their 30s.
Pitbull can dance. I saw
Pitbull
him
has some
live.
of the best dancers.
No, but stop saying that he himself can dance.
He himself can dance.
No, he cannot.
No. And I'm taking her words for it.
He did like the same thing the whole concert. I'll never forget it. I was like,
Sam's like, that's my
that's
move.
the 2-step.
That's what I do all the time.
That's like,
all you need.
Oh my God, I couldn't focus on his show. But yeah, no, his dancers are like in their 30s, if I'm not mistaken, or very late 20s.
Yeah.
But does he like in that case? Is it like every time he goes on tour? Does he go on tour anymore? Well, every time he does like shows, does he always bring the same
Mr. Worldwide,
people?
bro. He's always on tour.
I don't know, bro.
Pitbull specifically, yeah, he always has the same dancers. He has the same. I think I want to say between 6 and 7 of them or something like that.
Okay.
But it's like you're not gonna get to dance for Pitbull. Like he has his solid girls that he's had forever. So.
And so they got like
let that dream die if you ever want.
They got a gig, but they got a gig for the rest of their life.
Oh yeah.
Until like they're
treats them like princesses too, I bet.
That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, they're living the life. They're on tour.
It's like family.
Because Pitbull's always booked. Yeah, he takes.
Didn't you want to book Pitbull one time, bro? That's
I
like a
do
check.
want to book Pitbull.
Sab would like reach us out, like like I'm like the behind the scenes guy, so Sab would just send me like 3 a.m, like, yo, let's book Pitbull, and I'm like, bro, that's how.
I've never said
like,
that.
What
But
year do you want to do that?
Definitely book him, but yeah, like the idea, like you were saying about having a
Yeah,
having a
I'm like,
videographer.
Okay, like where were you loaning money from?
You gotta dream big. You gotta think big.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
I would definitely. That would be like a huge thing.
This is kind of off topic, but what's your favorite choreography from a movie? Because there's a lot of legendary scenes.
Honestly, I don't watch movies.
Oh.
Rest in peace, Chris Brown.
You don't watch the Just Got Served or You Got Served?
No. Honestly,
You don't watch movies at all?
I don't watch movies.
Step
at
Up.
all.
There's an individual like that. That's a certain type of person that
I'm
doesn't watch
weird.
like you don't binge watch Netflix or anything like that.
Okay.
So what do you do?
I don't really have free time.
You just eat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I usually, I don't know, I'm weird. I can't relax. Like, I can never just sit still.
Mm-hmm.
So, you'll probably notice after watching this.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, because like people want to say like turn the mic, move your mic.
But now she's
Sorry.
But she's like this.
I'll go this way.
Um,
No, I can't sit still. So, like, if I'm busy or if I'm free and I have a couple hours of free time, I'm like, all right, what can I do? Like, what can I do? I'll go to the studio, I'll dance. Or
it's wild because it's common culture for people to just be like, oh, I'm just going to watch a movie or I'm watching this documentary or anything like that. It's not that you don't do it, but
Yeah.
it's like it takes, all right, I don't have shit to do. Let me just do this real quick. Okay?
Yeah. No, I didn't get my first TV till junior year of college.
Really?
So, like, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my mom always had me busy. So I would go to school, and then my grandma would babysit me. So next thing I knew, it was already like 6 o'clock. And then I had to go. My mom would pick me up from work, and then she had to drive me to cheerleading or gymnastics. And next thing I knew, it was 9 o'clock. And I was only like 5. So I was doing that for a couple years.
But I want to play with toys,
I
Mommy.
wanna play
I know. I was like, Mom, I'm
You got an
tired."
appointment.
She's like, no, you have to be at bed. My dad never let me miss school, ever.
Damn.
Ever. So he kind of instilled that in me, like, I don't care what's wrong with you. Like, you have to go get your shit done.
Yeah.
So I remember, I'll never forget, one time I had both my ankles sprained at the same time because of how I landed one time when I was tumbling. I was in a wheelchair, and, like, my high school was so annoying about needing a doctor's note and blah, blah, blah. Like, you need this, you need that. I was like, fuck that. Like, this hurts. I did this last night. Like, I'm not going to the doctor right now. Like, whatever. So I didn't go through all the nurse and do all the extra paperwork.
Yeah.
So I just showed up to school in my wheelchair because I did go to the hospital and whatnot, but I just didn't tell the school about it. So I showed up in my wheelchair, and then my friend, she had like basically every class with me, and she basically took care of me the whole day. And they wouldn't let me use the freaking elevator because I didn't go like do the paperwork and stuff.
What?
So they had to
So
take you.
I
You were
was
like this the whole
literally-
time.
I was literally like, they let
Damn.
my friend use the elevator to put like my thing in, but I physically couldn't go in there. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? I'm like, do you guys think I'm lying? So yeah. And my dad didn't give a shit. He's like, all right, let's go. Like, you have school tomorrow. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, this hurts so bad. Because we wouldn't get home from our meets until like 9 or 10 p.m. So by the time I went to hospital and whatnot, my dad was like, all right, like, go to sleep because you have school tomorrow.
She's like 5 years old, just running on E every day.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't 5 when I did that, but yeah.
But I mean, like
running on
your
it.
young years, you're like, I don't want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just please.
I think it's a big reason why now I just cannot sit still.
That's a
like,
good
I'm
thing.
so antsy.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this because I've asked multiple guests the same question, and I think like because of you talking about that is gonna give a different perspective. Do you deal with procrastinating?
Yeah. Anybody that takes my classes knows I do a lot of the time. Well, I choreograph on my way to the studio, so I'll do that. School wise, I kind of really didn't have time to procrastinate because my days was so structured.
Yeah.
So like if I didn't follow through on my schedule, it would just throw off everything and it just make it harder for myself. And then I knew I was gonna be up till like 3, 4 in the morning just because I wanted to be on Instagram for an extra hour.
Yeah.
Or something. So, wait, what was the question again?
Procrastinating. It was just like, do you deal with procrastinating? My next question was like, how do you deal with it? Like, how do you get out of those ruts and everything like that? Because obviously now it's not like, oh, I'm a choreographer and I go to someone else's studio and I'm just taking the dance class. Now you kind of own your own class and everything like that. So you can't really procrastinate as much as maybe you did in some situations.
Yeah.
Because people are, paying to get into your class and do these things. So how do you do that? Not just with dancing, but ultimately like life in general.
Life in general, I kind of just make sure I'm always booked up, and that is like my motivation. Because I'm like, all right, as long as I'm booked up and I have something to do every second of every day, I can't mess it up.
Yeah.
Or it's just gonna fuck myself over.
Yeah.
So kind of just make sure I'm always busy, and I always have to do something. So if like the bank closes at 5 or something, I'll make sure I have this and this done by 5 o'clock, or I have whatever, I don't know. So I structure my days to like the T.
Okay.
And then dance wise, what motivates me is that people are coming to learn from me, or learn my steps at least. So that always makes me want to like, dang, like these, like at least one person's gonna come.
Yeah.
So, and who knows how far they're coming from. So I need to give them a good class. I need to make sure that they come back, because it's not just that class. I'm thinking like long term.
Okay.
I want you to come back. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to. So it's like business, clientele's, building good rapport with people. So, I guess the business behind it ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you got to have it like.
Yeah.
The way to succeed is you have to kind of continue to book yourself up.
Does your partner that you talked about before, does he kind of help you stay on track as well too, knowing that he's kind of like mentoring you a little bit through what you got going on, and he's been in your position with opening a business of his own, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like he doesn't want to.
He's always there if I ever need anything.
Yeah.
So if I ever have a question, I can text him 2, 3 in the morning, usually, because that's when time he wakes up to start training people.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no, he's like, this is all you.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're gonna call it your home, run it like it is. Yeah. So he kind of lets me do whatever I want, because it's mine.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What are we doing? What are we doing on time?
We are. I couldn't tell you, but we're far in.
194 minutes.
I don't think that's minutes.
Well, it's been about an hour.
Recording, we're at 59.
Yeah, so about an
Well,
hour.
that was such a good time.
It goes fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes fast.
Wasn't really anything.
I wanted to find a way to segue into it, but I didn't necessarily know if you really do want to talk about any of the shit that you're dealing with.
Oh yeah, I do.
You do want to?
Yeah.
I'll find a way to to segue into it.
So what like makes you stand out from?
Well, I guess you could ask me. You could ask me if I've ever been. No, that might be.
No, I'll find a way. I'll find a way. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I didn't want to be like, yo, something happening.
I heard you got beef.
I heard you. The streets is saying something. I don't know.
The streets is talking.
I don't know what they saying. Yeah. So what were we gonna say, Sab, right now?
Oh, just I feel like a good segue. You know, just kind of seeing how you differentiate yourself, and we can go into that. And
I say reggaeton. The main thing that we stand out with.
I'll come in somewhere.
The main thing is that I do reggaeton, which is obviously it was a really popular genre, and then it fell off for a couple years, and then obviously it's back. So that allowed me to. I've always loved reggaeton, even when I was little, and then it just kind of fell off. So I was forced to not listen to it, I guess, or listen to classics for years and years and years and years.
Well, reggaeton did fall off a little bit.
Yeah.
It just revived itself recently.
You were talking about there were some stages where they were like going off of.
It got very like electro, David Guetta influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you were. Who was that? You were.
Like it strayed so far from classic reggaeton.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like they were just going off of what was hot at the moment.
It got very poppy.
But it's wild because even though I don't speak Spanish and I don't really, usually I could tell.
Yeah.
And I mean, I met Sab and he was doing his bashes, and then I kind of like incorporated into like our La Bamba nights and everything like that. And I started noticing like, holy shit, like this is dominant. It's not even that I'm Latino is like it's extremely dominant
is
all
so-
across the board.
I love it.
And you got people like Cardi B that like obviously she knows she is Latin,
Bilingual.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's Dominican.
Yeah. So I mean, she's dominant in hip hop, but she still incorporates that, and it
Mhm.
goes like pretty well.
Yeah, like she did that song with Osuna.
Yeah. You were saying in LA that there's like there's not as much. Like you have to go like as far as if you wanted to move out there. The reason why you didn't move out there was because there wasn't.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm sure there's a good scene out there for it, but it's. I don't know.
Because that's kind of bizarre. Because I would think like people would move to LA because of the opportunities there.
Yeah, if you're looking for like reggaeton, everybody moves to Miami. Or
Oh, okay.
anything
So
in the
it's
Latin
not that there's
market.
not opportunities, but
Yeah.
it's the Latin market over there
The
is
Latin
not.
market is not as poppin' as it is in like Miami or obviously Puerto Rico.
Right. Now, being that we have like social media, like us coming from like a music standpoint,
Mhm.
we noticed that obviously prior to all these apps and everything that you can like social media, it was tougher to get kind of known and established in certain realms.
Mhm.
Do you really find that you have to move in dance in order to excel?
I used to think so, but there are some dancers in Chicago that have been changing the narrative
Yeah.
lately within the past couple years. One person being Manette Crump, who he just did a Nike commercial and like the Nike pop up for that sneaker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what sneaker it was, but he's kind of been a very big. What's the word? No, I don't know what word I want to use.
Innovator
But-
and or like I get what you're saying.
It's
I,
like he's been a very big self-starter for opportunities in Chicago. Because
Okay.
otherwise, before it was like, dang, I live in Chicago, like I'm not gonna get anywhere with this. It's like I have to move. Like the goal was to move to LA, and then you can start focusing on building like your dance.
Yeah, because even from like our background for whatever we do, there's always the kind of like the dog eat dog kind of mentality. Like
Yeah.
like you have to move because like someone's controlling it,
Yeah.
whether it's
Everything's over there, so I have to go.
yeah, or just the competition level is just ridiculous, and people are
That
very
too.
cutthroat and everything like that too as well. Have you dealt with anything like in that kind of realm where you notice like kickback or like I guess like we were discussing too is like that you get some situations where you're trying to do something and other people may feel like you can't do it here because I'm doing it here.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it's with our podcasting events we've held, even where we're at in Joliet, like it's the same thing. Like it's always like,
Okay, yeah, it kind of doesn't matter where you go.
yeah.
But well, what was it? You asked something specific.
Have you dealt with that? Like, have you dealt with in situations where ultimately you're maybe getting kickback
Oh,
or
okay. I
like
know, I remember.
resistance and stuff?
Yeah. So, well, yeah, because it's Chicago, not LA, the gigs are very cutthroat.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you have some really good networking behind it, you're going to get it. And if they see that you've done well before, you're going to get it. But if somebody else comes along that is better, but they don't know them, they're still going to book you. So people take the personal relationships or like the networking part of it a little bit more seriously than the actual dancing.
Okay.
So that's where it gets a little bit cutthroat sometimes because you'll have two people that know the same contact or something. And now it's like, oh, but you met so-and-so through me, so why are you booking that gig?
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes it has nothing to do with that. So, which is where, yeah, I have dealt with it before. I do have somebody working against me. I'm not going to say any names.
Okay.
But I've kind of just been ignoring it for the past year and a half. It's been a year and a half of this, like, BS. But, yeah, people are fighting over gigs, and some people take it more serious than others.
And this is kind of what I've been able to see through like you kind of
my
expressing it and everything like
Instagram
that.
rants
Yeah.
sometimes. I think I've only done 2 focusing on it just because I don't like to speak on it. People that know me know obviously what the situation is,
Yeah.
and they know what kind of person I am versus what kind of person somebody else may be.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll see it firsthand too, just like I've seen it firsthand. So yeah, I've dealt with someone very close to me switching sides, I guess.
Yeah.
on me personally as like a friend and business wise, just because I never saw them as a business partner. I saw them as like, hey, let's work together.
Yeah.
But whole time it was like them working against me. But I guess I don't take it personal. I guess it's more like people want to see you do good, but never better than them.
Right.
So once you get to a certain point, that's when it finally clicked, because I thought somebody supported me fully in everything that I did, until I started getting booked for my own things.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like, now instead of me teaching you, or instead of us working together, now I'm working against you, and it, like, literally everything changed.
That's where the resistance comes from.
Yeah.
Because it's like, instead of the mentality of like, oh, okay, cool, like there's more opportunities for all of us involved. It's like, you're eating off of my plate, when really it's not. We have separate abilities to do all this.
And it's not like those are my intentions either. Like, I didn't let you build me up or help me or like be part of my process just for me to like work against you in the end. Like, that was never my intention at all. My intention was always, I'm going to bust my ass. I'm going to take whatever classes I need to take. And I'm going to build whatever I need to build. And then if I want to be a professional dancer, I can be a professional dancer. If I want to have my own little company, whatever I want to call it, of girls, we can do it. But there's no reason for us to be competing against each other. And if anything, you get more business working with me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, look at the girl that I produced, or like that I taught for so many years, like, she's doing this now. You're going to get way more promotion off of that than working against me and saying, don't support her, don't go to her classes, she's a bad person, she's this, she's that. But a lot of it is so irrelevant to me that, like, people that do pay attention to it, or people that do
at least observe
soak
it
in that side and don't either say anything or let it like actually get to their heads,
Right.
I don't want them in my classes anyways.
Yeah, I think it's good to, like, that's why I kind of wanted to see if maybe you have opinions on those things, is because I see dance as a form of expression, but it's not vocally.
Yeah.
So you you're you say things on Instagram and stuff, and I observe it, but it's also because that's your only way of actually speaking on something.
Exactly.
Other than most people see you and it's just movement.
Yeah.
You can't really, that's the way you express yourself.
Dance is literally like making you be able to see music. Like, you should be able to see music. It's visualizing music.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've dealt with it a lot for the past year and a half. It's just starting to become illegal, but
what would you recommend for people that kind of deal with that too as well? Not even just in dance, but just people that are, kind of getting that resistance that they're like, okay, well, either I just give up or I give in, or
I would say ignore it for as long as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because my studio's been doing fine. I've been doing fine.
It's just
your real supporters and your real people are going to come through regardless of what somebody else is saying about you, because they know you at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So people that are like feeding into it too, or like adding fuel to the fire, and they know who they are. Like, I don't want you in my classes anyways. That's not the energy I want in my classes regardless.
Right.
Because if you're doing that, you're most likely judging other people in the class, and nobody feels comfortable anymore. So, yeah.
Now, do you, obviously this is something where it's been brought to your attention too as well.
Yeah. I know both sides.
Okay.
So I don't pay attention to it at all. Everything just comes to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the fact that people know who I am. They know I'm not going to go run and like add fuel to the fire or say like, I know you're saying this, da 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 da.
Right.
I'm just going to like, whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, I've noticed even your studio it hasn't hindered your ability to progress.
I thought it would, just because a lot of my clientele is familiar with the situation.
Yeah,
or
the other side. And
the
maybe,
other side
maybe
of it.
that's another thing too as well, when you're rooted in something where obviously, at least from my perspective of it, you've given acknowledgement. It's not like you're just kind of turning your back to like what was accomplished together as a team.
No, yeah.
But it's also like other people were involved in some manner and they don't want to take sides.
Exactly.
So then you're like, okay, I'm just going to distance myself from the people that do take sides. And then those that don't take sides, I'll be like, okay, cool, whatever.
Right.
Well, another thing is a lot of the people involved are younger dancers, so it's easier to not manipulate, but
I was literally
going to
say the word
them.
manipulate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
manipulate,
It's
I guess. It sounds kind of bad. but maneuver them in a direction or guide them in a direction that's like, dance is supposed to be this, like you're supposed to do this in dance, this is how the industry works, versus leading them the right way.
Yeah.
And telling them, hey, you should be taking classes everywhere that you possibly can. Like, I'm not your only teacher. Like, don't just learn from me. I don't know everything.
Yeah.
Like, go train tap, go train your reggaeton, go train hip hop, go train this, go train that with whoever.
Yeah.
If whether I like them or not, I'd be like, yeah, fuck them, but like that's a good ass dancer. Go take class.
Yeah.
Because it's wild because that narrative happens a lot. Like I've even dealt with that in music wise, like creating music.
Yeah,
I've
you
had
have to
people.
give credit where it's due. It's like,
Well, I've had people say like, because I was just like, I don't want to do. It's like, you know what, the energy here is just not right for me. I want to kind of branch off. And it was like literally conversations with people had with me who was like, well, just so you know, you'll never do stuff in Chicago because you're blackballed. Pretty much. I was like, what do you mean? Like you're not even to that level where you can do that. Like
Right.
I get you have some sort of credit, but it's like,
Are you Jay-Z?
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to like the city's shut down on you. Like no, it's not gonna happen that way.
yeah. But I guess my advice, going back to your question, just ignore it as long as you possibly can. The only reason I'm like actually paying somewhat attention to it now, or as of recently, is just because it seems like the attention on me has gone up a lot on that side.
Yeah.
Not on that side, but from that perspective. And I don't know why it's such a big
In a good
focus.
way or a bad way?
No, like it's getting like personal. So it's like strayed so far away from business where it's getting personal now.
It's more of like a
And that's where
reality show type situation going on there.
Yeah, and I don't fuck with that. Like
Yeah.
business and stuff, talk shit about a business, do that, whatever. But after it gets to a certain point, like you're eventually messing with my money now. So now I'm mad.
And you're not even like the person or the entity of someone that's in that position doing that to someone trying to get their feet going and stuff like that. It's like,
this is someone that has a lot of years on me in this industry.
Yeah.
I just opened in January.
Yeah.
So, and like all this has been going on for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
But ever since I opened my studio, that's really or announced that I was opening my studio, that's when it all kind of went into overdrive. And it started like calling my attention more. And then
it also brings like this light that you don't necessarily need.
I don't
because
need it
if
at
like
all.
people that open up businesses, you don't want to open up something or open up some like your passion and there's already a microscope on like nitpicking everything that's bad about it.
Right.
When it's like I'm building, like I'm obviously not going to come into the studio with like $1 million budget and just like renovate everything.
I just graduated college.
Yeah, I know. Like, but that's like the shitty part about it is like even with like the podcast, like. Yeah, there's levels of like what your equipment's going to be like and all this kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have a successful thing. You know, we can have all of this and
you can have the highest equipment
and have a
be
shitty, a shitty, personality. We're not entertaining, and then you have someone that's literally on their iPhone recording it, and it's like the funniest thing ever, and it's humorous. So, like, it's obviously the perspective should be like taken back and be like, all right, well, maybe. It's almost like just come to the class and see what you think. Like, don't.
That's what I think it is. But to me, it's kind of like it takes a certain level of maturity to think like that. To be like, you know what? Like, I don't care that you guys have a personal issue. I don't care what's going on. Like, I just want to dance.
Yeah.
So those are the people that end up coming to class and they love it.
Yeah.
And they start coming every single week.
Don't touch me. No, I'm just kidding.
It kind of leads to like, you know, if you say you're this prestigious person, or it's almost like if I was such a good DJ. And anyone that came approach me or asked me questions on how to get started, it's like I would turn them away or try to tell them wrong.
Yeah, like you wouldn't tell them.
I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? And it's like if you're that busy or you're so solidified in a position that you're doing, that if you were to even help someone else, it wouldn't affect any type of business that you got going on because you're that busy or you got that much on your plate.
So I don't know how someone who's that busy has time to individually go under people's Instagrams that commented a fire emoji and tell them that I'm a snake, that I this, that I that.
Yeah.
It takes so much
that
time.
I can't do. Like that is
much
really
time.
tedious.
So much mental time too.
So that's when I'm like, you know what? I don't even have the time to respond to this. So, like clearly we're not on the same page. If you have the time to do this in the first place and giving me things to respond to.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
that's kind of why I gravitate to Sab like more and more is because I've seen him like as DJing. You have your gigs, and that's your source of income. Well, Sab gets booked so much that I've literally seen him give
Yeah, you can,
them to someone else, and then you don't
Hey,
usually
bro.
see that. They'll be like, no, fuck it, like I don't want to give that to someone else. Like that's my. He's not worried about someone excelling better than him or doing better. Like like I can't give them that because what if they do better than me at the spot and
they're gonna
they
take my slot.
they're gonna
for
take.
the rest
No,
of
he's literally like I know them personally, those DJs, and they're like, oh yeah, he just couldn't make it today. He's got another gig, so he gave it to us.
Right.
And it's like those are different individuals where. I tweeted, it's suspended, so you can't see it. I tweeted where I
Mine
was
too,
like,
I can't either.
I was like, so you shouldn't worry about someone. People that are worried about other individuals' bags are pretty much not confident that they can't secure their own.
Exactly.
So
I
it's
saw
like,
that on
yeah.
Instagram too.
And I was like, I just had that moment because I've seen stuff on Twitter too as well, where individuals are so focused on if I'm doing something, well, whatever it is, I don't want another individual to do it.
Yeah, it's like who's gonna be first. It's not who's first, though. Who's doing it right.
Or
'Cause
it's
as
like-
long as you're doing it right, everyone's gonna win.
Yeah, like I always reference the podcast wise. Like I'm not gonna tell somebody don't do a podcast,
Right.
and I'm not gonna support it. It's because like maybe I know people that have like sports ones. I don't want to talk
Exactly.
about sports, like they let them do that. They're gonna excel in it. Like I give them advice about it, whatever it is, to help them with it because it's just gonna
Why not?
provide
Yeah.
a better networking. Like if they do really well, like I can always say like like I could talk to them. Maybe
Yeah.
they're gonna give me advice one day or whatever.
Exactly.
And you're just building your team by default as well too. That guy's going off, and now when they're in conversations, I don't even have to be in the room for that person to be speaking well about me
Exactly.
or providing me business in some kind of way.
Exactly. Referring me somewhere.
Yeah.
Like people just don't they don't understand the what abundance means and how big opportunity really is there. You know what I mean? There's only so much you could do in a day.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can have planned in a month. And it's like
Yeah. At a
we're-
certain point, it's like, yeah, just because we are in Chicago and like they only come so many, or these artists only come so often.
Right.
It's not like it's not like LA where they're always here, or like Miami, like they're
Yeah.
always having like, oh yeah, he's gonna be performing here tonight. He's here tonight.
Yeah.
Here it's like, oh, they're gonna be at Allstate Arena. Like we want that concert,
Right.
Yeah.
and only one person gets picked. So, I guess I kind of understand it to an extent, but not to the extent that it's gotten.
I get it because like Chicago is such a big network of city, but then I also realized like, man, this city is so small. Like I
It's so small.
knew of you, and I'm not even.
Right.
I knew of you, and then
I ended up knowing Layla.
doesn't your cousin rap too? He makes music.
Ryan.
Ryan, I know of him. Like Marino DJ'd for him for a little while, and then I know Marino because of that, or Dewey rather, and then you, and then it's just so
Such a, like-
small.
Yeah, especially with the creative industry, it's like, oh my god,
It's
I know
so
everybody.
wild because I'm just like, oh, how do you know that person? I'm like, I
don't
literally
know.
like I know Gio.
Yeah.
Like it's just I knew him from like a while
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, it's just weird.
Everyone's literally just like,
Yeah, and I get it. I get why, like, especially in the city, like, too, is like, yeah, it's big, but it's also like it's a small world.
yeah.
It's a very, very small world.
Yeah.
So I
So
get
big,
why
but
there's
so small.
some little like brushing of the shoulder the wrong way can kind
Yeah.
of cause
You
problems.
just gotta
But
be mature about it because it's gonna happen everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's, as long as everybody individually has a mindset of like, hey, I want to win, so let me put you on.
Yeah.
Because then when you get to this level, you can help me get here. Once I'm here, I can help you get here.
Yeah.
It's like,
or like too
but
is
a
like
lot of people don't think of it like that.
And
It's like,
also-
I wanted that gig. I wanted to do
Yeah.
that. And now that artist isn't going to come back for another year or something. And now you're mad that whole year and a half. Like,
even with that, like if not you, it's gonna be someone else.
exactly.
And
If-
also to add to that, it's
But because
like
it's me, it's a problem.
Yeah.
right, and also with the line of work that we do as a creative, it's like you love being a creative because a lot of things are on your own terms. You don't have to be in an office. You're not in a corporate structure.
Yeah.
But yet people in the same industry of you are bringing that corporate structure of you can't do better than me, or like as if there's some real hierarchy to all this. You
Yeah.
know, when there's really isn't.
I work out of
No.
my basement and I'm still better than you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what we were saying. Like someone could have like
Yeah.
a small setup, whatever it is. Like your studio, you could be like killing it, a bunch of gigs, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's her studio. Like she's just barely building it."
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really
Like,
matter.
dude, relax. I just got here.
Yeah. Is there ideal like setup that you want to change to it?
There's a big pillar that's there that I wish wasn't there, but I think it has like something to do with the water and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think I can change anything about that. But yeah, our banners, we're waiting for our banners to come in. We're waiting for the lights to come in, and then the sound is gonna be the last part, just because right now our sound is okay. It's not my main concern.
Do you want to paint it or change the color of everything?
No, I'm gonna leave it how it is because I didn't want to do any of that.
No.
But once you have colored lighting, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So the blue is more his theme. And I don't want to stray too far away from him because at the end of the day we're working together.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't.
And you kind of have freedom to. I mean, the classes that you pick right now, the time wise and everything like that, that is for. That's just you pick them.
Mm-hmm.
You could always pick more classes and do more stuff.
Yeah, that's why I post them every week because some weeks I'll have work, or some weeks like I don't want to do Wednesdays, or I'm booked Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
Or I have a video shoot or something. So yeah, that's cool. I'll just post my video or my flyers every Monday.
Okay.
Be on the lookout on Mondays. But yeah, Mondays around 5 or 6, I'll post my flyers.
Okay.
And then I don't really have to ask people to share my flyers, which is really freaking cool. So I always archive them after.
In here, right? One of these.
Yeah, I'll always archive them, but it's cool because a lot of the people that have been knowing me for a really long time, they automatically share, and I don't have to ask them for anything.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're like, "Hey, I got you," and then I'll like click the little view how many reshares or whatever, and I'm like, "Oh my god, there's like 10 or 12." I'm like, "Dang."
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
So it feels
we'll
nice.
share them more because
Thanks.
I have to like I'm in controlling of like 4 pages right now, and I gotta like I'm like going.
Benji.
I
gotta
got
know
my
how to
kids
do it.
page, and I'm like tweeting SSAB and shit and everything. Okay, so I think that's actually pretty good on time. Is there anything else that you wanted to speak on?
Nope.
No.
Just no. Do whatever you want, guys. Work hard and mind your business. Drink your water.
Yeah, mind your business. Drink water. Drink water is a very thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so in that camera right there, go ahead and sign off. What you're gonna do is just obviously, I mean, I'll put your tag, like your Instagram, but just go ahead and say it, so I know when to cue it in.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. This is AshMoves. You can follow me on Instagram, AGALVEZ21. My Twitter is suspended right now, or you can go on my YouTube, which is in the link in my bio.
Okay.
I teach classes, usually Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So heels, reggaeton, hip hop, all that. Come
Okay.
check us out. $10 a class, and check these guys out too.
Where's the class?
Addison, Illinois, at my studio, AshMoves Studio, with Joe's Gym.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for being on the episode with us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, peace. Sam?
See you guys.